Hello everyone, this is James here from the Let's Get Ready to Rumble podcast. We're welcoming here today Sam Cox, professional boxer 5-0. Sam, how are you today, mate?
Not bad, thanks yourself, James.
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. I'm enjoying this lovely sunny weather at the moment, although it's a bit hard not being able to go outside too much, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not great, is it, to have the nice weather and not be able to use it, but we've got to do what we've got to do.
That's it. We're pushing through things, Sam. To say the least, you're taking advantage of this. You're staying in shape. But one thing which we've all noticed on your social media, and I want to thank you on behalf of everyone who's watching this podcast, what you're doing to help the NHS at the moment. You're powering the NHS, sending meals every day to hospitals, care workers, churches. So I would love to say thank you very much for what you're doing to help our carers and our NHS staff. You're an absolute legend.
Thank you so much, mate. But yeah, no, it's a big team that are doing it, and we're just pushing through, and we're doing anything we can do to obviously help the bad situation out here. The nurses are the heroes out here, and they're struggling every day, and they're battling every day. They're putting their family, their life, everything at risk, just to make sure that we come out of this all right. So yeah, so it's a little something that we can give back. So it's good.
100%. And how did it come around? How did it come around to doing this? The NHS powering the NHS project. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, but basically, my boss and the vice chairman of Powerday PLC, Edward Crossan, me and him had an idea, or he had an idea really on the Friday, because we helped another company sort of deliver some meals via our transport. So he just thought up with this idea that basically they own London Irish Rugby Club. Okay. So we've obviously got top chef down there, and obviously all the catering services. So he thought, why not produce meals from there, bring them down into the Powerday offices, put them into the vehicles and get them out to hospitals. But so obviously we need to get contacts to hospitals, stuff like that. So he organised everything. Started off with sort of one or two hospitals and a couple of hospices and a church, to this Friday. So we've done it every day this week, Monday to Friday. And on the last day, on Friday, we had 800 plus meals go out and supplied to 13 different hospitals. So next week, the target is 4,000 meals to the NHS. We've done just short of 3,000 this week, and it's our first week. So really, really, really doing well. So
wow. That is something, Sam, to be delivering that many meals out to the NHS to help them out. That's something. Like I said, on behalf of myself and everyone watching this podcast, thank you. We take our hat off to you for what you're doing to help our NHS in this time.
Amazing. Cheers.
Also, obviously we've seen on your Instagram, Sam, you're also doing a lot of charity work as well. We was talking about it before the podcast. You're part of the London Irish Boxing Foundation. Could you tell me a little bit more about that, Sam?
Powerday Foundation.
Powerday Foundation.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, the company I work for, Powerday, we have a foundation which funds London ABA, funds grassroots rugby. They own London Irish Rugby Club, so there's a lot of development there, youth development there. They literally have got their hands in so much. We just sponsored the GB boxing team. It's basically a scheme where they're benefiting young people through sport. And what I do there is I work with all the community levels. So I do coaching boxing classes with schools, with misbehaving children, with MENCAP groups, physically disabled. It's an amazing company to be a part of, and something that I love is boxing. Something that I love is to change and to life. So if I can just change one person's mindset, then I feel like I've succeeded in life. And just some results of what we've done. We work with a company called SWS, which is School Within a School. So basically, it's Kensington Academy down in Kensington. And basically, their last chance saloon is in this SWS group. So they're about to be kicked out of school, and they get 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks as a term time to work with this SWS group. And part of that is to come to me once a week and do boxing. And since we've joined the group, we've not had one kid expelled from the school. So they've all gone back into school life. And I've been running it for about 18 months now. So you can imagine the amount of kids that we've had through there.
Yeah, it's a real benefit to the community, Sam, and it shows just how powerful boxing is to help out kids who are really at sort of, they're at a point of their lives where they can go to one route or the other, and they find boxing, and it can take them down that right route in life, which is amazing to see.
Yeah, a lot of it's just self-confidence. It's just that a lot of kids have got low self-esteem, so they think they've got to act up or act bigger or act louder. Because I was a bit myself when I was a kid. I was never a naughty kid, but I was small. I still am small now. I'm only 5'6", but I always thought I needed to be the loudest, the most brash, the class clown, or just because where I was sort of small in stature, that kind of made up for it. But when you actually know your self-worth and know your place in life and where you're going and what you're doing, you don't really need to be that idiot. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I get you 100%.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, you see with movements obviously like yourself, what you're doing. There's gloves up, knives down. A lot of these campaigns are showing that the positive effects that it's having on that boxing is having on the youth of the UK today. And let's hope long may it continue once this COVID-19's out of the way, that the boxing can continue to have such an amazing impact on the community in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
So, talking boxing, Sam, obviously you're a boxer yourself. So I want to ask you firstly, how was it you got into the sport of boxing? How long have you been in, and what inspired you to start?
So I started at the age of 6, which is probably too young to be fair, but I come from a big boxing family. So like nowadays it's quite different because a lot of kids get into boxing because it's publicised a lot more. It's cool, it's a trend. Whereas like when I was young, you'd only really go to the boxing gym if your mum and dad took you, or do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you didn't really find the boxing gym. So but boxing is a big part of my family on both sides. So my mum's side of the family, my uncle represented England. His son represented England as amateurs. They won numerous national titles for Repton Boxing Club. And then my dad was an Olympic qualified referee. His dad was the chairman of the ABA itself. And they come out of Repton as well, and it's just a big boxing family. And my dad, when I was about 5 or 6, set up the junior side at Peacock Boxing Club, and I was moaning and crying, like begging him to take me down there, and they would look, you're too young, like wait out. And then at about 6, he took me down there just to shut me up. Got down there and just loved it and never looked back since. So
nice. And when was it you obviously you got into the sport at 6? Was it was purely obviously your family, or did you watch any boxing at that sort of age, or was you I
was always around boxing at that age. I was at shows every weekend, amateur shows every weekend, watching boxing, watching my dad referee, away with like the England squad and stuff like that. So I was in and around it from an early age. I remember making cups of tea for officials and stuff like that. So yeah, I was always in and around it, so it's just something I always loved. And talking about refereeing and officiating, where I was quite small, in my teenage years, it was hard to get me fights because you need to box within 2 kilos and 12 months of someone.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're 15 and 3'7", the average size of an 8-year-old, there was pretty much no one to box. So I went down the officiating route for a little while, where I qualified as the youngest referee and judge in the world.
Wow.
So I've done all that, and then at the age of 16, I grew a little bit and I could get into the championship. So I sort of put that on the back burner, and it's just something that I'll probably go back to once boxing's over.
Nice. And what do you remember? What was the first fight you refereed as the youngest referee in the world?
I don't remember the first fight, but one of the first fighters I refereed is a kid called John. I'll send you over his Instagram. He's doing really, 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 really well now. He was actually one of Joe Joyce's sparring partners.
Oh wow!
For the Dubois Joyce card. Obviously, he got cut short, but he's out in Vegas training with the lads out there and sparring. And even at the age of, I think he was like 11, he was massive, and I was 16, and he was taller than me, bigger than me. And I remember saying to my dad, like, what am I going to do when I put their arm up? Like, I'm not going to be able to like reach something. He said, I'll teach you a little trick. Hold them high with the arm. So instead of holding his hand like that, I was holding his arms, and then when he won, obviously push it up, sort of thing. So yeah, that was one of. But I remember the first place I refereed in was Duke's Hall in Romford. I'm sure it was a Romford show. And my most memorable show I refereed was actually a Newham show, and had a West Ham boy and a Newham boy boxing each other, and it's like a massive rivalry. So the Newham boy was a home boy, and I actually stopped him on his home show against a West Ham boy. So that went down like a ton of bricks, but he stopped. So.
Well, what an experience, eh? To be able to do, obviously get into refereeing at such a young age, and to be part of it all, and you're obviously going to be a massive part of the sport in that, and change your trajectory of obviously careers doing that, and it's a big responsibility, but it just shows how much you love your boxing, Sam. You want to be in and around the sport whichever way possible.
Yeah, definitely. Another route I'd like to take after boxing as well is coaching, because I like it when I'm in and around the gym and you got a few youngsters around you and they're watching and they ask you little things, and also I feel like my sort of style of boxing, I'm a really good thinker, and I think when I watch people spar or I see certain things that others don't, and I really want to bring that into the game as well. So
nice. You do a bit of coaching now already, don't you? You do some one-to-ones, didn't you, Sam?
I do one-to-ones. I was at Fight for Peace. I was an assistant head coach down there with my coach, Sam Zeno, as the head coach. But to be honest, with the boxing and the hours that I put in and working, I was sort of burning the candle at both ends. I wasn't finished up there until like sort of getting home at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then I'm up at like 4 or 5 for a run, and it was too much at the time for my boxing. So I'm not down there anymore, but I'll still be helping out and volunteering and stuff like that. So
yeah, you've got a pretty hectic life, to say the least, Sam. You've got a lot on your plate, like you're saying. We see on your Instagram, you're up early, running around Islington at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. You're off at work, then you're training, you're doing your one-to-ones, and you're not finishing till that time at night. So you've got a very busy lifestyle, to say the least.
I quite like to keep busy, keep active. I think if I'm not doing something, my brain's doing 90. So I need to keep focused. I need something to do, and I need a lot on my plate really, and it's hard sometimes to juggle, and a lot of the time you just got to sort of push through it. But yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way really.
Nice. So, heading back to the amateurs a bit, Sam, once you grew a bit of height, you come from 3 foot up to the height of the other amateurs. What did you end up going on to do in the amateurs? How many fights did you end up having?
I had in the region of 20 odd in the end. I don't know exactly the numbers because obviously it was a long time ago, but obviously I boxed my whole life. My first bout was at the age of 11 when you're allowed to box. But obviously there was gaps in my career where I didn't have fights for 2-3 years where I couldn't. There was no one big enough for me to, no one small enough for me to fight. So it was only towards the latter end of my career where it really started picking up, and I had sort of 5, 6, 7 fights in a season and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I had 20 in the region of 20 odd, mid-20s. I got to an ABA final, a CYP final. Boxed in different countries, boxed in Denmark, boxed in Jersey, represented London. Got to do quite a fair bit, to be fair, for the short amount of fights I had, but enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And so for your amateur career, Sam, you was at Peacock for a lot of it, or did you go to a couple of gyms? What?
No. Down there at 6. I never boxed at Peacock. So at the age of about 10, I went to Lion Boxing Club, which is just in Hoxton, just round the corner from my house. And I was there for sort of 3-4 years. Then I went down to the family club, which was Repton. All my family boxed Repton, so it was like the only right thing to do. So I was there for about 4 years under Bobby Beck, famous amateur trainer. I really, really loved it down there. I was doing well, I was progressing, but the only problem was there were like a championship club, so they didn't really put on too many shows. They didn't really try and get you out on other people's shows, and I wasn't heavy enough to get into the championship, so I boxed 3 times in 4 years for Repton, and it was just like I need somewhere to sort of really push on. So I went back for a year to Lion just to find my feet again. I boxed like 5 times that year, and that was the first year I actually got into the championships. I got to the semi-finals of the ABAs that year, and then my best friend Sam Zena, who's now my coach now, was at Repton, and I see the way they was at West Ham, and I see the way they train and how much hard work they put in and the way they spar. And one of my parts of my game that I've always been good. I've always been good rangy thinker, boxer sort of style, and I kind of wanted it to add the grit and have a raw sort of thing to my game as well. So the choice was to go to West Ham under Mickey May and Mickey Driscoll, and really my boxing took off from there. And that's when I got to the 2 national finals. Really had my best part of my career at West Ham. I was there 5 years before I went pro.
Nice. So you had quite an interesting amateur career, to say the least, Sam.
Yeah.
Just a couple of questions about your amateurs. Some standout things. Firstly, who would you say your toughest opponent was from what you can remember from your amateur career?
My toughest opponent probably was a guy called Oliver Simpson. I met him in the junior ABA final, and he, when obviously I got beat, he got selected for the World Game when I won a gold fight in the World Game. So wow. you can't really get beat by anyone better than that. But to be honest, the first 2 rounds I gave away. It was 4-2s back then. First 2 rounds, I just got scared of the stage and the enormity of the fight, being in an ABA final for the first time, and obviously not having a lot of fights, these guys had 675s boxed all over the world against international opponents, and I think I was on my like 14th fight, 15th fight, but so obviously experience levels there, that's where it affected me. And third and fourth, I had an absolute best rounds of my life at the time, and I lost by 3 points in the final, so I lost 27-24.
So close old fight then. To be fair, and you took someone who won a gold all the way.
I think I was about 18 points down going into the third round, so I must have had a good third and fourth.
Yeah. Smashed them rounds. So you took someone who's fought the world, gold medal World Amateur Games, as far as you could possibly take him in them 2 rounds. So what an experience that must have been.
No, it was good. I was proud of myself, to be fair. I'm one of them that I'm a very, very, very hard critic on myself. I've always see the negatives and but straight from the fight, I'll be like really negative. But then obviously when you go back and look back over the years and stuff like that, when I take away them sort of moments, then I really take the positives out of it. So
yeah. Well, talking of proud moments, Sam, what would you say your most proudest moment in your amateur career was?
Probably boxing in the ABA finals, definitely that, or walking out the Olympians as a flag bearer for the 2012 games.
Wow.
One of them.
How did that experience come around, Sam, for being a flag bearer for the Olympians?
Basically, when we got the Olympics in London, obviously there was a scheme for 6 different. Sorry, I'll drop my phone.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm all good. The phone's good. So basically, 6 London clubs were available to pick. I think it was a number of 6 or 8 representatives from their club to be a flag bearer. Just obviously so the new generation gets to see how the Olympics work and the process and just filter people in. So that's how I got selected for that.
Wow. What a proud moment to have to be at the home games, walking out the boxes. What experience could compare that? That is some experience, Sam, to say the least.
Yeah, it was good. Like just to see like the likes of Lomachenko just walk right by you, or Anthony Joshua and Nicola Adams, and I actually walked Nicola Adams out for one fight, so that was quite good.
Wow.
But yeah.
So you've met a good few names, to say the least, as an amateur. To Lomachenko. Wow. What a name.
I mean, I was always in and around top boxers from a young age, because my dad was an international referee. So wherever the England squad was, my dad was there. So like I grew up with like the likes of like James DeGale, David Price, that sort of era, Billy Joe Saunders, Bradley Saunders, Thomas Stalker. Them sort of fighters I was in and around all my life. They were just normal people to me. But then when obviously you're 17, 18 and then you go to watch the Olympics and you do get a bit starstruck by the likes of sort of Lomachenko's and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Talking
to Lomachenko, Sam, what have you thought of his career so far since he's turned over as a pro?
The geezer's amazing. The geezer is out of this world. I think he's just a freak of nature. I think if he was teaching someone to box, you definitely wouldn't show him Lomachenko, because he just does everything he just does everything so different to everybody else, and he's just so good at it. You can't mimic it. So he's like the Messi of boxing. Like when you look at the likes of like Ronaldo, he's his pure work, hard work, dedication, and just building himself to be the best of the best. and then you got like Messi, who's just naturally like ridiculously talented, and that's how I see sort of Lomachenko. It's just like he's just unbelievable, and then he's got that hard work and dedication and lifestyle and everything to go with it. So it's just a combination of just like everything's right.
Yeah, 100%. You know, how much more do you think he can achieve in boxing? You know, he's a freeweight world champion. What more do you see him doing? Do you reckon a fourth weight, or do you reckon that could be a step too far?
I think he can nick it at the fourth weight. I think if he just don't get touched, he's just so good. Like, had you hit him? Do you know what I mean? I think Luke Campbell showed himself really, really well against Lomachenko and really him into deep waters at times. But I think Luke Campbell's another one where he's massive for the weight. So if Lomachenko did go up a weight again, I think he'd be alright, because Luke's probably one of the biggest lightweights out there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
100%. Well, talking of fighters, you know, you take things from. What sort of fighters would you say you sort of take inspiration from now and base your style upon?
I won't say I base my style on any particular fighter or sort of genre of fighting as such, but where I'm quite good is I'll watch a fight. For example, I don't know, I'll watch a fight and I'll see something, and then I'll think, right, I like that defensive move or that attacking move, and then I'll try it in my game. And the more boxing I watch, I think the better I become, because where I come from a big amateur pedigree, like my family and stuff, it was really shunned upon professional boxing. My dad didn't really like it. He thinks he thinks the game's all wrong and like stuff like that. So I didn't really watch a lot of professional boxing, and then I had a year out when I turned pro over my mum at one stage. And when I had that year out, I watched loads of professional boxing, and now I'm like a big fan of professional boxing, and I really adapted my game and my style through that. So I just like to take a bit of everything, or something that I see that I like, I'll take. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Well, talking your pro career, Sam, you know, you turned over in 2017. Why then? What was the decision to turn over in 2017?
I had a break from boxing altogether. I was working in a estate agency, and they wouldn't let me box anyway because they didn't want black eyes and stuff like that down in London. And so I kind of obviously done the thing that you need to do as a man: get a job, earn a living, and then something arose in me, and I thought, do you know what? I've boxed my whole life. I've put everything into it. Why not try and make something of myself? And me and Sam Zeno wanted to do it as a journey together. So he turned over as a pro coach, and I turned over as a pro boxer, and we've got this dream of becoming two best mates, as like the first two best mates to become a British champion. Like being such a young sort of trainer and boxer combination thing.
Yeah,
that's our dream.
Nice. And you know, you're talking obviously your best friend Sam. You know, you said you was together at Repton. How long have you known Sam for? How long have you been best mates for?
Probably since the age of about 12. We've been inseparable. They call us the two Sams, but yeah, we've been literally inseparable. I love him to pieces. I'll put him above sort of most of my family. So yeah, the bond we've got there is special.
Yeah, well, you see it a lot of boxers and trainers. You know, the ones who have got that real special bond are the ones who go really far in the sport, because they know how to get the best out of each other. You know, in the hardest of times.
Yeah, and I think the other thing, that where we're quite young and fresh, we have our own ideas. So he'll have an idea on something, and then I'll have an idea, and we'll bounce off each other, and we make things work together. Whereas I think with a lot of the old school sometimes they can be too rigid, or this is how it is, and it's that way, or the highway sort of thing. So I quite like it that we can sort of bounce off each other and have sort of creative ideas, and like he might put a little combination together, and I might go to him, right, let's add this onto it and stuff like that. So it's like a real team effort. It's not you do this and you do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's what I quite like.
You're both contributing, and you're both putting that spin on things to take you both to where you want to achieve in the sport, 100%.
Yeah, I think we've done well so far. We've sort of coming into the game not having any knowledge of professional boxing, not knowing what to do. We've had 5 fights, and one of them's been at the biggest stage of British boxing on a matchroom card at the O2. Yeah. So we're not doing too bad.
No, not doing too badly at all, Sam. So you turned over. You're managed and promoted by Steve Goodwin. How did that come around to make the move with Steve?
Just when I spoke to a few promoters, managers, as such, and we just thought he was the best guy for the job. I think if you're a ticket seller like myself and you're on the small pool shows, I don't think there's much better out there for the likes of us. But yes, that was really the full process through that.
Nice. So you had your pro debut 2017 against Anwar Al-Fadli. I'm gonna pronounce his name as that. How did you find your pro debut? You know, people say it's one of the best nights of your life. How did it go for you?
Mate, it was honestly the most nerve-wracking, horrible thing before I stepped foot in the ring. I remember I was sick in the region of about 12 times before I went in the ring. I was putting my glove. I had my wraps on. This is going to sound disgusting. I had my wraps on, put one glove on, and basically needed to be sick. And I was like, Sam, don't put the other glove on. I need to be sick. I had this real sick feeling, but I couldn't be sick. So I was like, I put my fingers down my throat, got up what I needed to get up. Obviously, I got stippled down my wrap, just put my glove on. And I remember the result, I'm like to Sam, don't take my gloves off, because obviously it will sit down in my wrap. Do you know what I mean? So, but then that bell goes, it's just the best thing in the world. Everything else just switches off, and you're just you and that guy in front of you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And how did you find that first fight? You know, it's a bit of a change of styles, amateur to pro. How did you find that transition?
It was quite tricky. The journeyman I had was a really well-known one. He's been in the ring with absolutely everyone, and there was only, I think, 2 people that stopped him. That was Paul Butler, who won a world title, and he never stopped him to the second time he boxed him. And someone else who's about 3 or 4 weights above me, but he was just a real survivor. He just made it as tricky and as hard work as possible. He sort of held, just really sort of grinded it out. But great learning experience, and it was 4 rounds, well deserved, that I needed at the time. So
yeah. So as you said, Sam, you had a bit of a break in between, you know, your first fight and your second fight. You was going for a bit of a tough time. Do you want to say a little bit about what happened?
That was later on. The first fight and the second fight, I actually had an injury to my knee, which kept me out for a little while. And then my career started really getting going. Sort of the second year of my career was getting going really well. And then my mum fell ill with cancer, so I took a year out. Because for me, boxing, I'm very, very selfish when I'm doing it. Nothing else matters. So, because the fact is, when you get in there, you need to know that everything's 100% right, because otherwise you'll get beat. You can't take chances in this game. So I was not going to. Basically, my mum wanted to do her last holidays, her last trips, she had terminal cancer, so she wanted to do everything, and thing is, I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was boxing, because I wouldn't be able to go on holiday, I wouldn't be able to go out for meals, I wouldn't be able to do this, I wouldn't be able to be there when I needed to be there. So I took a year away from boxing, and then just before she passed, like when I sort of knew that she was going to pass, I got I got back into boxing, because there was nothing much more I could do for my mum anyway, and my sister was caring for her, and we had a good setup at home. So I used the last sort of 2 months of her life to get back into boxing, so that I was in the right frame of mind when she finally did pass, and that's what we done, really.
Yeah. Well, I can't imagine what it was like to go through something like that, Sam. But you know,
Oh mate, biggest fight of my life. Forget boxing, forget COVID. that was like the hardest period of my life.
Yeah. But you know, you got to spend those valuable, that valuable year with your mum. You done everything that you could have wished to do with her in that time, and
Yeah.
when you knew the time obviously was right, you started to sort of get, like you say, you're getting yourself into that frame of mind, preparing yourself for what was next, and to say the least, I think you made everyone proud, and you really, you carried your mum with you in that next fight when you came back. You fought Andanov. I'm not going to pronounce. I can't pronounce his full name, but it's Andanov. You fought him, and what was with you that night, because you stopped this man in destructive fashion in the first round.
Yeah. Honestly, I've got my sister says it to me all the time. When I'm really tuned in and really got that bit between my teeth, I've got like this like look, and like Sam can see it as well straight away. He always, like, I'll have certain spars where I'm like, I've got this bit between my teeth, and it's like when a lion locks eyes on his prey, and it's just like there was something about me that night that I felt like possessed. Like I still can't even believe like how it happened, what happened. Like I was just really sort of firing all cylinders. And to be honest, the camp that I've just gone through, that obviously I didn't box because of COVID. Currently, I had that throughout the whole camp. I was so tuned in. I had that grip between my teeth. I had that nastiness when I was sparring, even when hitting the bags, even hitting the pads, and like sometimes when we're doing combinations on the pads, I'd throw another extra shot, maybe like tap up the ribs to Sam, and he'd be like, "Oh, you bastards, that hurts," sort of thing. I had that real grit about me, and that was what I had on that night. And I'm just gutted I didn't get to box really, because this one, because I had that again, and I was hoping to have sort of the same effect.
Yeah, well, who knows? This break you could use. This break, it could be the thing that gets that bit between your teeth again when you get that opportunity once COVID's gone, and it could be even greater effect to when the COVID's gone. So whoever your opponent is on that night, I'm wishing them the best, because I'm sure a big Sam Cox is going to come that night.
Yeah.
So
all fuck fixing me in the fag butt.
So yeah, you had that big win, and off the back of that big win, like you're saying, you and Sam, you've come from the start of boxing, not together, brand new in the sport of professional boxing. Within 4 fights, you had 3 wins, a stoppage, and then you've gone on to fight at the biggest venue of them all, the O2 Arena. How did that come around?
Got the call I boxed on the Saturday, got the text on the Sunday from my manager saying, Matchroom have got a slot available, do you want to take it? I phoned Sam straight away, and he was going on holiday for a week during that 5-week period, and I was like, don't matter, we've got to take it, we've got to do it. And he was like, yeah, of course we have. So we took the opportunity on Monday, and then we had 5 weeks to get ready for it.
Nice.
And it was probably the highlight of my career altogether.
100%. Well, you fought a big bill at the O2. It was topped by Derek Chisora versus Senagashi and Dave Allen fighting Lucas Brown. How was that whole experience? Of being on a massively produced show.
Yeah, do you know what? It's like having a debut again, because like even though it's luxurious and everything's 10 times better, 10 times the scale, it makes you more nervous. Like even silly things, like I remember getting to the hotel, the Intercontinental, where you meet with Matchroom, and then they put you into a limo which takes you underground into the venue, and then you go into these changing rooms. I mean, it's just spitting sawdust at your ball, and I've got my own changing room with a shower and a toilet and all these luxuries, and it took me when I got in the ring, it took me 2 rounds just to find my feet, but because of all the enormity of the show, and that's why I was so gutted that I couldn't box on the 28th at the O2, because I've done it once now. I can take that away now, like the experience I had before, and just get down to my boxing. And I was just like really ready to put a show on for everybody on the 28th, and give everybody sort of 100% of myself.
Yeah.
I feel like at the time I boxed there, like I was taking that process. It kind of took me 2 rounds to sort of find my feet, and then I only had a 4-rounder, so sort of the last 2 rounds I was like just getting going. Please give me another 2.
So you got the win. You fought, it was Georgiev that night, I think. Was it Georgiev you fought that night?
Yeah.
And what was he like as an opponent? Tough old opponent.
Yeah, tough. Hit really hard. So he stopped a few. I think he stopped about 4 or 5 prospects. So I got clipped once early, and I thought, oh, you do hit a little bit hard. And then kind of my style of boxing has really changed. I've really started to set my feet and let my hands go as I built into my professional career. But where I said, like I said to you, it was a bit like having a debut again. I sort of reverted to what I knew best, was just hit and don't get hit. So I kind of just popped to move, didn't really go for a stoppage with him until sort of the last round, when I started putting my hands together a little bit, and it was like, oh, it's a bit too late now. Yeah. But because it sort of the inexperience at that sort of stage, I thought, you know what, let's just hit and move and get the win sort of thing. So yeah, I'd love to do that again. Same fight, same night, and I think that would have a different result. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Get them extra rounds in, and that would have been what could have got that stoppage for you on the night.
Definitely.
So you moved on after that. You had your fifth pro fight, your last pro fight in September of that year against Steve Maguire. Your first 6-rounder fight. How did you find that transition moving up to 6?
No, amazing. That was exactly the fight I needed. He was come full with grit, sort of man as such, and it was nice to stand in the pocket. I was letting my hands go. Like I said, I'm developing into a pro. So that was like the real, like, that for me, I was doing them things in the gym in sparring, and for me, I wanted to see it in the ring, and that was the fight that really said to myself that, oh yeah, I can do this. I am going in the right direction, and I am turning more into a pro. And this camp that I've just had, it's shown that even more, and that's why it's just so unfortunate that we can't get out.
Yeah. So how did it come around? The opportunity to fight March 28th, O2 Arena. How did that come around?
Again, I was boxing on the 7th of March, which was the week before my sister's wedding. And we only took that day because I wanted to get the fight out of the way so that I could enjoy a wedding, have a nice bit of food, have a good time, sort of thing.
Sorry about that. We just had a little bit of a pause in the internet, but we're all back and running. So we was talking was talking March 28th, Sam. Obviously, you had the call, you got the call for the fight. You was originally meant to fight March the 7th. How did it come around, that call to fight the O2?
So yeah, I got a text from Steve saying there's a slot available. Like I said, I wanted to get my sister's wedding out of the way on the 14th. So I phoned her, and she was like, "Are you mad? Like, you got to take the opportunity. Don't worry about my wedding. Obviously, you can cut. But obviously, I was gonna cut my sister's wedding, but couldn't eat. I was on a strict diet. So I was like, right, I'll take the opportunity. Took the opportunity, and obviously we were due to fight on the 28th, and my sister's wedding was on the 14th. And obviously I had people sort of phoning and texting me saying, look, this coronavirus is going down, like the fight's going to be cancelled, enjoy yourself at the wedding. I was like, no, I can't, like nothing's been confirmed, like no way. And then on the Monday after the wedding, it was cancelled, and I was just so gutted. Like, even like I paid for a cake and I couldn't even eat no cake. It was like ridiculous.
Oh, well,
yeah, I was gutted.
I can imagine, Sam. You know, because I remember we had a chat the weekend before. I see you at the MTK show, wasn't it? When Martin fought Sam Gilly, Danny Dignam at the top of the bill was having a chat, and I was saying to you, do you reckon the show was going to go on? Because I was planning on coming along, and you were saying, yeah, Matchroom, they're hoping to keep the show on at all costs. So I was thinking, Christ, we'll be along for that. But then, you know, sometimes, you know, unfortunately, things like this are just going to stop it, and it's for the greater good, isn't it?
Yeah, their view was obviously whether the government stop it, and which the government did, or the British Border Control as such. So their hands were tied, and looking at, obviously at the time I was gutted, I was frustrated, but looking back on it, like seeing what's happening and the way this sort of virus is developing, it was the right call. So
100%. Well, have Matchroom said anything more to you, Sam, about potentially, you know, getting you on the, you know, the rearranged bill at the O2?
Well, they can't rearrange anything at the minute, but it's just no one actually knows what's going to go on, and even the dates that they've got in place for July and stuff like that, they're all going to get cancelled. I can't see boxing coming back till early as September.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Sam. I think September. Well, England boxing, they've said that amateurs is, you know, it's not going to return until September now. The junior championships. So you know, it's going to be a long old time without the sport, to say the least. I'm gutted. I'm missing it too much.
Yeah, mate. It's not good times for boxing, really.
Yeah, 100%.
So we can't grab.
Yeah. Well, look, you know, we got to look at the positive side of things, Sam. So, you know, we you know, fingers crossed. You know, boxing comes back in September. What would you like to achieve for the rest of 2020?
I'd love to get a Southern area or an English title shot. I'd love to. I think we was only one fight away from it on the 28th, but now we're going to have another fight to prepare ourselves for it. And then obviously with regards to sort of getting a title shot, it's always hard because dates need to align, people need to, it's not like you can just fight and phone someone in and like with a journeyman. So hopefully, fingers crossed, boxing comes back and get that title shot by the end of the year. Yeah,
100%, Sam, 100%. Well, I'm sure I'll be there. I'll be there supporting you. You know, you get that title shot. I'll be along there supporting you, mate. So, talking obviously, you're training. You know, you live in the life of a pro boxer. We asked this to, you know, we have on the podcast. Describe an average week of you know, a life as a pro boxer. What do you go for each week?
So I will do 6 days of training and 1 day rest, and normally a Sunday that I rest. I'll train twice a day for all the days that I train. One obviously session being boxing every day. One boxing session 5 days a week, and one strength and conditioning, and the others are cardio, which I mix up with running, swimming, and cycling. So I kind of like to change it up, because I think if you stick to one, like a lot of boxers just run and then go boxing, and I think you only get fit for that. I think if you do other things, it makes you fitter for other parts of your body to be used. When things get in the trenches and parts of your body needs to be used that haven't been used before, you're going to fail. So that's why I like to kind of mix it up and really put my body through it. So
yeah, 100%, Sam, 100%. And what is it, out of all your training, what do you find as the hardest part of your training as a professional boxer?
I hate running. But I've learned to enjoy it, and I've got a lot better with it. But yeah, probably running and dieting.
Yeah. Well, talking of running, Sam, you did do a good run the other day, didn't you? I see on your Instagram you're making the most of your one exercise per day, as Boris has been saying.
Yeah.
A good old run into the city of London you did the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, I never really head into central London because it's so busy and so packed. But obviously, where it's so empty at the minute, it's a good time to run. I ain't got to dodge people. Do you know what I mean? It's nice and clear paths. So normally you wouldn't be able to move down there. So I thought I might as well have a tour of London. It made a nice sort of sightseeing run and had a nice little slow plod. Sort of dip my toes in South London quickly and got myself back as quick as possible to the right side of the water. And enjoyed myself.
Oh, lovely, Sam, lovely. Well, we put out a little Q&A post out on the Reddit to Rumble Fitness profile, Sam. So we've got a couple of questions that have come through for you. Firstly, we've got 2 questions coming in from Alex Parman. Alex the Power Cup Parman. He's a legend down in Rumble's gym. So he's asked. Firstly, all right, we're back live. Right, so yeah, we've had some questions come through, Sam. Firstly, from Alex Parman, a legend in the Rumble's gym. He's asked, besides yourself, who do you think's the most talented fighter on the Goodwin stable?
I'd probably say someone the likes of Lioness or Dolphy, really, really good fighter. Yeah. Just waiting to get his big title shot, really. So yeah, shout out to Lioness.
Yeah, he's promoted with the Haymaker gym as well, Lioness, isn't he? As well as managed by Goodwin, and he's won the English title, hasn't he? He's won the English title, and he's moving.
Sure, it's either Southern area or English, but yeah, I think he's a real talent.
Yeah, really good fighter. And Alex, he's asked another question. He said, "You're one of the hardest working boxers." Pardon? Greedy.
He's being greedy, Alex.
He loves it. He loves a couple of good questions an episode. He's asking, "You're one of the hardest working boxers who I follow. How do you keep up your energy levels?"
Sometimes it's hard. Some days, some weeks I feel flat. I just keep going. I've got a good company in health nutrition that supply me with BCAAs and some other different supplements that keep me hydrate on board as well. They're really beneficial and keep me hydrated and fueled. And but yeah, I think it's just a lot of it's mindset. To be fair, like on the days you feel crap and you don't want to go for a run, and just get it done. Even if you don't worry about your times. You don't need to worry about your times. You're not a professional runner. Do you know what I mean? So I used to worry about my times and what times I was hitting and things like that. But it's just that I'm not Mo Farah. I'm a boxer. So why am I worried about my time? So just sometimes it's just grind it out and get it done, even when you don't want to. And I think the more you do that, the more easier it gets. And then you just keep pushing them boundaries, keep pushing. And sometimes the more you push, the harder you make it on yourself. Because I would target myself, say, like 1,000 calories, but then the fitter I'm getting, the harder it is to burn them. And it's like a battle with yourself sometimes. But yeah it's hard to get the energy levels up.
Yeah, 100%, Sam, 100%. Next question we've got coming in from @AdamMacker1. He wants to know, we sort of touched on it earlier, what was your amateur record? So we sort of touched on that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah. So I in the region of 20 odd, mid-20 fights. I think I lost about in the region of 4 to 6, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 losses, something like that.
Yeah. And then lastly, we've got one more question come through from @Kai Folder. He wants to know, how did it feel walking into the ring at the O2?
It was something like magical. Like literally, they didn't even get my ring music right. I was like, didn't give a shit. I'm walking out of the O2 to fight on the biggest bill I could ever dream to imagine to be on, and I was just like, yeah, let's go. And the walk was good. It was better when the bell went though.
Straight down to business and impressing everyone.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, Sam, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on today and to learn a little bit more about yourself and your boxing career. Before we finish up, is there any people you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, biggest mention is the Mill team, my longest sponsor. Just to say, even with this crisis going on, they're still feeding me. So I've got my weekly 2 meals a day from the Mill team, and I can't thank them enough. I think they're more like family than they are sponsors. So massive shout out to them. Obviously, well hydrated, keeping me hydrated. Just there's a few people off the top of my head. I can't really think at the minute, but look, them people that keep us going, the sponsors that are out there that keep us boxers ticking over. Without them, obviously the boxing will go out the window. So just want to thank everyone who sponsors a professional boxer. I just want to say a thank you to them as well.
Yeah, 100%, Sam, 100%. Well, we look forward, COVID-19, we'll get that out of the way as soon as possible. We'll all be keeping an eye on your career towards the end of this year, Sam. Hopefully, back out of the O2 and getting that Southern Area title shot, mate.
Thank you, mate. Top man. Thanks for your time.
No worries, Sam. Talk to you later, mate. Take care.
Bye-bye.